If our sin is in our head, if our sin is in our mind, there's got to be a way out. And what I said last week, I read an obscure verse, and the obscure verse was John 19:34, and it says this: blood and water came out of Jesus' pierced body. Blood and water came out of Jesus' pierced body. Freaked me out for years, that verse. What's with the water? Couldn't figure out the water. I got the blood. Okay, they stabbed him. So blood. What's with water? Why was water pouring out of his body? Water poured out of our Lord's body because there's a protective sac surrounding the heart. And when his heart was pierced by the soldier's sword, it broke, listen, it broke his heart. It broke his heart. If our sin or our separated thinking is in our head, then the way home will be through our broken hearts. Psalm 51:17. The sacrifices of God are a broken spirit, a broken and contrite heart. These, O God, you will not despise or reject. The sacrifice that we make to our Lord is a broken heart. And he set the example physiologically. He showed us what the answer was. I brought this Jesus statue a couple weeks ago, and the Catholics got something right. The Catholics used to have, whenever they had the icons, the statues, they would always have Jesus' pierced heart. And there'd always be blood coming out of it, right? The Catholics got it right. They got Jesus, this icon, this statue I have at home. The Jesus on the statue was always going like this. Look, hey dummies, look. The answer is in your broken heart. You want to get out of this? You got to come into this. I like the way Henry Nouwen said it too. He goes, what we need is a downward mobility. It's his famous thing that he developed. Downward mobility, whereby the tweaked, stinking, thinking head that ate of the tree and is still living under the curse of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, that head, those thoughts need to descend, downward mobility. They need to descend into the heart, whereby the two become one. Yes, right? Yes. Consecrated thinking comes through our head, descending into our heart. We go, well, sin. We all talk about sin. Sin is separation. That's what sin is. Sin is separation. How many of us, most of us do live with our heads separated from our heart? I was talking to someone the other day. I was walking around in an antique store, and somebody called me up, and I was like, I don't want to look at the antiques. I'll talk to them. So I'm walking through this antique store, and they said, you know, here's the deal. I know I've come from this background where I've been hurt and whatever else, but you know, I'm really kind of, that was then, this is now, and I'm kind of over it, and I'm moving on, but I can't understand why I don't really feel anything. And I said, here's the thing. Your head has decided to move on, but your heart, but your heart, shame that we have that, huh? But your heart oftentimes has been left behind at 4 years of age. There's separation. Listen, you guys are getting this, right? Yes. There's separation oftentimes between our head and our heart. Our head goes, move on, because that's uncomfortable. Move on, because we don't want to hurt anymore. Move on. And the heart of a little kid, you must be born, unless you become like a little child. The heart of a little kid in us is sitting back here going, hey, I'm stuck in this dark wood over here in this forest. Can you come get me, big brother? Can you come back and get me? Meanwhile, big brother, no. You're everything that makes me uncomfortable. You're everything that hurts. And I don't want you anymore. I don't want you anymore. Separation. Easy to call smoking your marijuana cigarette sin, isn't it? I'm sorry, Lord, I'll never do that again. Easy to do that. I'm sorry I looked at pornography this week. Easy to do. I won't do it again. And we go, look, I sinned. I looked at some pornography. I sinned. What if sin was much broader than that? God's looking on the heart. Man looks on the outward appearance, but the Lord looks on the heart, and he goes, your heart, the wellspring of life, your heart is separated. You are separated from you. Anybody hear that?
Yes.
You are separated from you. The you that you think you are, today, you're not. The you that you think you are, today, you're not. You're who God says you are. I need to reconcile. I need a return journey. I need to go back and get what was lost. I need my inheritance. I say it this way, at the cross section of the cross is Jesus' broken heart. Right at the center of everything. His broken body on the cross. 2 trees. Isn't it amazing that he, Jesus, reconciles the 2 trees in the garden? At the beginning, there's the tree of life and there's the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Good tree, bad tree. And then we see Jesus at the end of his life taking his broken body, putting his broken body and his blood on 2 trees. 2 trees. I am not allowing the 2 trees to remain separate. Through my body, I will reconcile the 2 trees in the garden. I will bring that to fruition or finish. What's finished? The separation or sin is finished. The separation is finished in him. The Lord our God, the Lord is one. One, not 2. Our God is one. Read John 17. You will find nowhere else in the Bible where he hits the theme of oneness over and over and over again. Right before he's going to die, what does he say? May they be made perfect in one.
Yes.
Oneness. Oneness. He's reconciling everything. He's bringing everything that was separated back to a state of oneness. Everything comes back to one because it's his name and it's his will. That's good news. That's good news. And the one thing we like to do is stay in our head and away from our heart. If you want to reconcile this and get this right or consecrated, you're going to have to come into your heart, not keep running from it and avoiding it because it's painful and it's difficult. You got to come back home. You got to come home, prodigal. You got to come home. We got to go home. We got to come home. I'm coming home. I'm coming home. I left home. Some of us should be wiped out with that fact. We should have, the admission of a condition leads to redemption. Some of us have to admit, even this morning, I've left home, Lord. And for lack of a better statement, home is where the heart is. Micah 2:13. The one who breaks open will come up before them. Listen. The one who breaks open will come up before them. They will break out, pass through the gate, go out by it. Their king will pass before them. The one who breaks open. The one who breaks open.